over the past few years in the sense that we focus on after school programs. Our office also focuses on youth and youth employment, and the intersection of those two issues. So youth development for youth aged 18 to 25 and after school programs in a program called Year Beyond, where young people give up a year of their life to offer after school programs in schools. So I think our office has had to be quite focused about what we do and what we don't do. So I think I think that there are great Olympic values that can be applied in the after school space. And I think that if the conversation was around, well, how can this benefit learners in under-resourced schools within the Western Cape, then there's a conversation to be had there. So I think, to that degree, but I don't think our role is not really to get into federations and influence federation policy and, build a pipeline for quality sports people. That's just not our work.
Okay, are there any issue that you think is really that you could share with, I would say, a broader audience in terms of, you say you government, but you don't operate like the normal traditional, government office. So are there any, lesson to be learned from your path that you've taken, that you would say, yes, this is really, I would like to share this kind of thought or this kind of lesson learned about partnership?
So we actually have, when we did our symposium a few years ago, we actually wrote down a few key sort of lessons about collaboration and partnership. Just actually wanted to look for them. I was just finding the book.
I must say, I'm most impressed that you're so academically, I would say, underpinned by information and knowledge.
Well, thanks. We do try to be evidence-based.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So
overrule everything.
Say again?
Sometimes you expect from a government entity that it's about politics. Mostly.
Yeah. I think political will is important. And I think, there was that. And I think now it's to say, as government's priority might move on to the COVID crisis or whatever it is, it's just about solidifying and deepening those wins that we had. So we actually wrote down sort of 7 key points for successful partnerships. And it's a shared commitment to the goal, strong relationships and time invested in relationships, that the collaboration builds on existing work and works with where the energy is. So don't try and, decide what the priority is, build on what exists, that the role of each stakeholder is clearly defined and understood by all. Trust is built between stakeholders, good, clear and regular communication, and that there's a focus on doing and sharing the successes and lessons, with committed leadership. So yeah, that's what I would say are the lessons we've learned in a nutshell.
And lastly, do you think it's about partnering, it's about individuals connecting, or do you think it's about organizations connecting, or both? In terms of trust.
Well, I think it's the right people in the organizations connecting. So I think sometimes in long-standing collaborative efforts, people start sending lower and lower and lower down staff who don't have they can't make decisions. And I think that's key. You have to be committed to sending decision makers, to collaborative efforts.
But if you pick up the phone and you talk about trust and somebody that you can think can pull through or can contribute, it would be an individual, not necessarily you contact an organization, whoever's, within if you contact lawyers, whoever's there doesn't matter. But do you say who is there is the key important thing for you to know, to trust that person can bring this whatever to the table. Or you see, sometimes you'll just link with an organization